Now we are live. What is going on? Ring Kings podcast talking UFC today. We're talking UFC today. We're here with our guy Suge Knight 323. What up, Suge?
What is going on? What is going on? Thank you, Jose and Brownie, for having me on. It's been a lot going on. We were just talking about it right now, so it's gonna be
Yes.
kind of fun to talk about.
Yes. We look. This is a boxing podcast, but look, it's still combat sports related, and it's a entertaining story. Right? It's still look. I'm not sure if any feet were thrown. They're using their hands. So yeah, man. Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington, the street
Once
version.
friends, right? You got to give the whole context. Once they were best friends, and then for some reason, Colby says it's because he started to get more successful in the UFC, and he was better than Jorge. Jorge started to resent him. Colby got kicked out of his gym, and now they hate each other.
Yeah, it's funny. Like for a beef that has been well documented, I'm not quite sure what they're beefing about. So apparently they ran to each other at a restaurant. Is this correct? Restaurant in Miami. You can correct us if we're wrong, Suge. And
I don't know. Okay, so here's the thing. We don't know if someone ran. We know that. We don't know if they ran into each other on purpose.
Right. One of them ran into the other one, and the other one ran away.
Yeah. So what the story's kind of being is that Kobe was out. Well, the unknown person. We don't know who it is, obviously, but they were. Kobe was out at a restaurant walking, and then all of a sudden, someone ran up behind him and gave him a shot.
Just pow.
Yeah, to the jaw. It was like a two-piecer.
Yes. Allegedly, maybe a tooth or teeth were lost. Okay.
Yeah.
During
now we don't know. Now the one thing that has popped up is he is suspected. So we're not going to throw him under the bus.
Suspected. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Around here, we keep it. We keep it straight as a. He's suspected. He hasn't been convicted yet. Hasn't been arrested yet. But he's suspected.
He was charged though. I think he was.
No. They said he was charged, but he's not. They're saying that he's under suspicion that it was him.
Gotcha.
So now we're gonna move forward with the rest of this show, based on the assumption that he did it. This is the conversation, like OJ. Right? Well, if he did it, this is the conversation that we would have about it.
Well, the problem is okay. We could say, well, maybe he did this or that, but then his manager tweets out, "Hey, Kobe, heard you're missing a tooth," and then a video leaks and things like that. Come on.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Because now, let's be honest. We'll look at it from a couple angles. Let's look at it from a financial, a career, and everything like that. He's lost 3 fights in the UFC. If he gets charged with this, UFC's probably letting him go. Like,
he's still a big money maker though. I don't think. Yeah, like the rules are different for people that can draw a crowd.
True, but I mean, if you're 0-3 in your last 3 fights and you've been getting worked, it's not like they're close or you had a chance going into the fight. Kobe beat him up bad. Yeah. Usman knocked him out.
Yeah.
But he's still entertaining though. Like
I don't think that.
Is he still the baddest motherfucker on the planet?
He never was. But he does still have the belt.
He has the belt. He has the belt.
But I don't think that the Usman fight hurts him. Where he got knocked out, because that's kind of who he is, right? He's a striker. He's like, let's stand up, let's go, right? He's a fighter. Yeah. What hurts him is the first Usman fight where he lost by getting stomped on his feet. But okay, you can write that off. Like, it was a short notice thing, right? But then this Colby Covington fight where you allegedly hate him, and he's talking all this trash about your family, your kids, and you're so angry, and you're going to teach him a lesson, and then you go in there and you lay down. Essentially, like there was no action. I mean, he had one little stretch where he hurt Covington, and he was too tired to do anything about it. But the rest of that fight, he was on the ground, just not doing anything. So you kind of lose that that little mystique or that rep of being, that guy, that game bred, like you went in there and you laid down.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I see a lot of fans, and me and Matty Gunner were talking about it. He was like,
shout out to Matty Gunner.
Yeah, shout out to Matty Gunner. He does a podcast. Make sure to check it out. I'll have to find it to plug it in. But he was saying himself, he was like, I understand, because I'm a father, Jose, you're a father. B is not a father yet. Hopefully one day he will be. But if someone talks about your kids, yeah, you're gonna beat the shit out of them. And he had his opportunity. He had his opportunity. And he had, sorry, my daughter is trying to talk to me. He had his opportunity.
Daughter's always welcome on the show, Shug.
Always.
I know. I'm sorry, but I don't want her talking about her. I don't want her talking about them beating up each other. I want to keep her innocent. I'll bring her on the Ravens podcast.
There you go.
But he had his opportunity to beat, to handle Covington in that fight, and you didn't do it. And now you want to roll up on dude and hit him from the side, and people are like, "Oh, like yeah, he won the beef." Man, that is such weak-minded mentality. It is unbelievable to roll now. And like I told you before we went live, Rodney, if he had walked up to a man-to-man, said, "Man, you were talking about my kids. I don't appreciate it," and then cracked him, different story. But there's this whole thing that he had wearing a mask. He had a hoodie on.
He's hiding behind a bush or something like that.
Come on, man. Like, bro, you're supposed to be the baddest motherfucker on the planet, but you can't walk up to a man and be like, "Hey, don't talk about my kids." But you're gonna run away. Come on, man.
Why would he walk up to him and say that? Like, he just lost the fight to this man.
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. And then it makes no sense that fans are like, "Well, he won this beef or this and that." No, he didn't.
No.
The dude. Now he looks worse. Now he looks so much worse that you had to sucker punch him. First off. Now, and like I was saying, I know you were saying, Jose, that he still might give fights and things like that. But now, what happens if he is charged? Now, and it's not a misdemeanor; it's a felony. So now that money that you make, you're not from the hood anymore. You're a multi-million-dollar fighter. Now you gotta take money and go and get a lawyer. And then if it's a felony, they're gonna want bail from you. Felonies are usually $300,000, so you're gonna have to give up $30,000 to get out of jail. Why do I know about this? I'll tell you later. Things like that. You got to get a lawyer.
Mind your business.
And then not only that, let's be honest. What if some people out there? Me and Jose were talking about this earlier. People are in people's business like crazy. What happens? You get some random person that's like, "Oh well, he's a father and he has kids and he's acting like this. Oh, let's call Child Protective Services and have them look into this."
I thought you were going a different way with that. I thought you were going to be like, what if a Colby Covington fan said, "Oh, you wanted to sneak my man," and then goes after Masvidal?
Oh, well, I mean, maybe. Hey, some of these fans of Colby Covington are Trump supporters, and you know how crazy them motherfuckers are. So, but seriously, then now you've just a domino effect that affects you for a while now. When you could have just said, "I'm not going to think like that. Yeah, this motherfucker pissed me off, but I'm going to get him back. I'm going to get back in the gym. I'm going to try to get my fight back to him. And then when I fight him again, then I'm going to beat his ass."
Yeah.
Now you have that mentality, I call it the hood mentality, and now you affect. What if UFC says we're done with you? Now you're gone. You laid out the scenario, like I laid out the scenario right now. Now you're worse. You're worse off.
Yeah. I think for Masvidal, especially, I think he's coming near the end of his career, and I think he just doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? That's probably a big reason why he did. He's just like, "Look, I don't care. I don't have anything to lose. I made a couple of dollars. It is what it is. I'm good." And they may not fight again, and even if they fight again, he knows he can't really beat him in the octagon. The fight didn't go to weight. Like, he wanted to be a brawl, and Covington's like, "No, we're not gonna do a brawl. I'm gonna wear."
This is the only saving grace for Masvidal. This is the only saving grace for Masvidal. If they take this as flip it, like when Connor attacked the bus and homeboy got gas in his eye and Rose was on that bus, this is the only saving grace that UFC uses this to promote a third fight. Which is then kind of fucked up, because you're like, "Oh yeah, let's exploit your kids and exploit you getting in trouble." Because I will say,
I don't put that past Dana.
Yeah, well, Dana White could go to Colby and say, "Look, drop the charges. Don't leave it alone. We're gonna get a payday out of this, and you'll get paid." No, Colby's gonna do it.
I can see them trying to do that. The only thing, I mean, I can only speak for me personally. I've got no interest in seeing these two fight again. Covington is. I'm not a Covington fan, but he's a far superior fighter to Masvidal.
Which is crazy that he's not even close to Usman. And so, like those are the two fights we don't want to see. I don't want to see him fight Usman again.
No.
And I don't want to see him fight Jorge anymore. It's like Covington's in this weird spot, and I forgot about the story that I wanted to talk to you guys about before. We'll talk about it in a minute. But like, what does Colby do now? So he's gonna have to take this fight. It's the only way he's gonna make money, is because if he goes, he can't fight Usman right now because Usman just beat the shit out of him. Well, not beat the shit out of him, but he beat him handily last time.
Like, it was a closer fight, but you could tell like that was the
that's the closest you're gonna get.
Peak. Yeah, the absolute peak of Colby Covington, and he's just not good enough. Yeah. Right? So don't really want to see a third fight there. Definitely don't want to see another fight with Masvidal. But he's in that weird space where Usman's on the tier by himself.
Speaking of Maddie, what's up, Maddie?
But he's gonna have to. I mean, there are other guys he can fight. I'm not sure that there's other guys. I'm not sure that he wants those other fights necessarily. Right. He wants championship fights. He wants big money fights. I don't think he wants fights against guys who can beat him, who aren't big stars.
Who has the opportunity to take his, because he's number one contender.
Right.
And that's the weird thing. He is number one contender. Is that the undefeated guy?
Yes.
Who's
only been? I forget how many fights he has, but he's only been hit 4 times.
But that's the guy that has a fight coming up. Is that the guy that has a fight coming up?
Yeah, he's got a fight on the next card.
It's a big fight.
He's a pretty scary looking prospect right now.
He's fighting Burns, right?
That's yeah. I think he's fighting Burns. Yeah, that's a big fight.
Up until this point, he's been fighting lower level guys. This is a big step up for him, I think. So it'll be interesting to see how that fight goes. But I don't right now, based off of what I said, I don't think that Colby really wants any part of him.
Probably not.
No,
probably not. And I think that's what I'm saying. It's kind of weird because now how Jorge's on that. Yeah, that's what we were saying. He stitched him out. Why would you do that? Dumbest thing in the world.
Nobody's accused the Masvidal crew of being the smartest crew in the world.
I mean, but come on, man. Like, you're a multi-million-dollar fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you're gonna make that decision, cover your bases. Cover your ass, because it can all be taken away from you now.
Mm-hmm.
And your manner, and I get it. You want to gloat like, well, yeah, motherfucker, I knocked your teeth out, but you did it outside the octagon.
Yeah, nobody respects that.
You did it in the streets.
Yeah,
and people, and I get it. I saw the tweets. Me and Maddie were talking about people talking about, oh, well, it's the streets. This is that. Yeah, but you're not. It's a restaurant. You're not. Yeah, but you're not hood. You're not hood anymore.
Yeah.
You're out of the hood. You can't. That's the problem. You can't have a hood mentality when you're out of the hood, because that shit will get you in trouble. It's not the same. When you're in the hood, you do that shit. People ain't gonna really snitch you out or anything like that. Colby Covington, you think he ain't gonna snitch you? Oh, he's gonna snitch like a mother.
He ran away and found the nearest group of cops that he could find.
Yeah, he for sure gonna snitch you out. Now, again,
I schedule my fights.
Right?
I don't like this.
And like Maddie said, they'll promote the shit out of it. That's the only saving grace for Jorge, is if Dana goes to Covington and says, look, just drop it and we'll make money off of this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and he might be able to sell out to Covington because, like you said, like Covington's in that weird spot where he's clearly a step below Usman. Right? Like everybody is. So you had 2 shots at the title.
And you couldn't do anything with it. Like I like Covington as a fighter. Obviously not the person, but the fighter. I like him. Let's just be honest. When you're in there with Usman, you weren't doing, like, if he would have been able to dominate 2 rounds and Usman got 3, I would say different. Like, no, he could have won that fight. He dominated maybe one. He didn't even dominate. He just really showed up in like 1 or 1.5.
I really think what happened there was Usman took him too lightly the second time around. Like he was overconfident and he let Covington hit him a lot more than he otherwise would have. And eventually, those punches piled up and he did get hurt. But
also like it looked like he's gonna put him away again early, right?
Yeah.
Like he put Covington on the ground and it looked like if he had a couple, another minute or so, that'd have been it. But yeah, look, but the fact is you had 2 shots. And I don't think you deserved that second shot so early. What's up, Mind's Eye? Masvidal said he was going to break his face, so Colby had to throw it.
Look at again. Look at that is hood mentality. You can't, dude. You're in a ring with one person separating you, the ref. You're gonna break his face, break him right there.
Yeah.
Or you walk up to him as a man, face to face, and then you crack him for talking about your kids. Don't come behind and hit him. That is such weak ass mentality.
Well, I mean, you had your chances in the octagon because there's a couple times Colby stood up and you were just eating the shots and you were hitting back, man. Like that's the time where you gotta dig deep and say, all right, like, now he wants to exchange. Let's exchange, right? And he didn't do it.
And you had the motivation. He talked about your kids.
Or look, sometimes when you got somebody like that, he's going to try to take you to the ground. Like you gotta sell out. Like they always say that you gotta sell out. You gotta sell out. Like don't invite him to hit you. Put your hands down. Like go to him a little bit. Like yo, come on, taunt him. Like hey, let's go.
Yeah, he hurt Covington at one point. I believe it was in the 4th round.
But he couldn't finish.
And he had nothing left. He just stood there and watched Covington recover. And the other thing, Mind's Eye, like Masvidal says a lot of things, right? He said that stuff about Ben Askren too. I didn't see any TMZ report about him jumping Ben Askren. Like he runs his mouth a lot.
He does. But as far as Covington, like what's next for him?
Matty Cutter.
Jorge is on record saying that he's the best sucker punch.
That is amazing.
Like I think that's a different conversation, Mind's Eye. Like, I mean, he deserved to get beat down.
But that was a while ago, right? That wasn't they ran. So what I thought happened was they ran to each other in the restaurant, and he said something about his kids, and then he hit him.
That's what I thought as well. But you're still talking about the things he said leading up to your fight. You got in the cage with him, and you had nothing for him.
Nothing. Yeah, no, I don't respect it.
And look at I'm a father. Jose's a father. Again, if he walks up to Covington, looks him in the eye, say, "You were talking about my kids, running your fucking mouth," and then cracks him, I don't respect it. But I'm not gonna be like, "Oh well, I don't know." I'd be like, "It is what it is." You ran behind him and hit him.
Behind him, man.
Yeah, listen. I mean, again, you're a professional fighter for how many years? You're supposed to have one of the best stand-up games in the UFC and everything. Walk up to him and just let him know we're about to fight. Don't sucker punch him. Let him know that you said what you said, and now you're going to pay for it, essentially, right?
At least I can at least respect that because you're going to him, a man, not wearing a mask, a hoodie, running up on him, cracking him, and then running away.
Wearing the mask, somebody who doesn't believe in masks, right? Like, isn't he one of these anti?
That's the first thing. That was the first thing Maddie said.
He's an anti-masker, except when he got to put in some work.
You're probably right, Mind's Eye.
Yeah, very much.
I will not be watching that.
Yeah, I'm not watching that. There has to be a stipulation, and this is where Dana has to come in because Dana wants to be Vince McMahon, right? He wants to make this WWE as much as possible. He has to put a stipulation like there's no ground game in this fight.
If they said no wrestling, I would watch that.
Yeah.
No. You know what? If I'm Dana, I go to both of them and said whoever loses this fight is done.
Right.
You retire.
Yeah.
Oh, I watch it. I'd be like,
and Covington would sign that immediately.
Yeah. But no ground game. Like if you go to the ground or stick the ref, if it goes to the ground, after like 10 seconds, they gotta get back up. Like they're not staying on the ground.
Grudge match.
Yeah.
And we're talking about how Kobe's kind of in this limbo situation. We were talking about it in Discord. And if you're not part of the Lunch Break Hot Discord, you should be. Me and B were talking about it. Or actually, we're talking about it on Twitter. I apologize. McGregor wants to come back and fight Usman. That puts Colby, because Colby's number one contender, that puts Colby in like this limbo of like, he ain't got to fight for a while if this is true. Because Usman's going to take McGregor seriously and is going to want to train for him. It's going to be a full fight camp. Yeah, Ray Kobe's teeth. Yeah, but he's gonna pay $1,000 to fix that tooth.
Yeah.
And if Jorge goes to jail, was it worth it? Not really.
Yeah. Man, he says Dana's on the phone to Cody. Like, how many zeros will it take?
I wouldn't and keep it below 6.
Do we have numbers for that USC event? I was curious because here's the thing that I have so many issues with Dana, but whenever USC does well, the numbers are readily available for how that pay-per-view did. When it doesn't do well, yeah, like when it doesn't do well, it's scrubbed from the internet, right? So like, I'm curious, what number was that? Was that 271?
272.
I want to know what the numbers were for that because I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like they didn't do that well. And if it didn't do that well, Dana's going to be less enthusiastic about doing a part 2, right? Even with the drama going on, because it's just like, well, I don't know. But then again, there's nothing else going on. There's not a whole lot going on right now, USC. So what
if you package it? What if you talk to Usman, Conor, and say, "We'll do you guys, Masvidal, Covington 2."
Yeah, I don't know how serious. I don't know how serious Conor is about doing that fight, man. Like, he talks a lot. I don't know if he's that serious. Look, I told you on Twitter, Conor would die. Right now,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking on Google right now, and I'm seeing that it generated over like 6.5 million at the gate, and there were 19,000 something people watching it live. So I'm assuming that it didn't do well because I'm not seeing any pay-per-view buy numbers.
No.
But it wasn't a great card, and it was a bad main event. So I would not be surprised if it didn't do well.
Yeah. There's no way Conor wins. Like, there's no way.
I don't know.
He's already I'm not saying
fighter. I would give Usman the edge. I give Usman the edge 100%. I make it like a 70-30. But if Usman tries to get crazy and stand up with Conor,
Conor's got nothing for him. Conor does not.
Conor's got a better left than Usman. I tell you that much.
He did.
He did.
I don't know what he has now.
Wait, you're talking about?
Hey, you got to remember, it was his leg that got broken, not his hands.
I know, but his left is for holding champagne glasses now. It's not for punching.
But you're talking about he's already a smaller fighter. He has to go to fight a bigger fighter. Usman can take a shot, right? And Conor doesn't have it like he used to, man. Like, he doesn't.
And he never, even in his prime, he didn't have the stamina to go with a guy like Usman.
Right.
When he moved up and he fought Diaz, Maddie's talking about Diaz here. When he moved up and he fought Nate Diaz, I mean, he was beating the brakes off of Nate Diaz. And then all of a sudden, he just didn't have it anymore. He didn't have any more energy. And he got taken down. He got choked out. He gassed out.
Yeah.
That is exactly what would happen against Usman, minus the Usman getting beat up part.
I don't even think it'll go to the ground. I think Usman would just put him out.
I don't necessarily think he would do that. I think he would take him down and wear him out in the first couple of rounds, and then he would stand up with him and beat on him.
Man, Conor's looked so bad these last couple of fights, man. I just don't think he has. Usman is in his prime right now. I think Usman just knocks him out. I'm serious. Like, I'm not saying it's not about who's a better striker in their primes. We're not arguing that. We're talking about right now. Mm-hmm. I think Conor is just washed. He's just washed. Like, he doesn't have the drive. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think he has the drive.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not the same fighter. And Usman wants all the smoke. He wants all the smoke. I think Usman would crush him.
I don't think Conor's washed. I think he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't have the drive to get there anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's fine physically and everything, but it's just, why? Why do I want to do that? Like, I'm going to get paid the same amount whether I kill myself in training camp and go out there and put on a great 5-round performance and get a win. and I'm going to get the same amount of money if I get knocked out in the first. So
I think Conor is talking, but his next match is going to be in the boxing ring. He's very intrigued by doing it. I think boxing, outside the fact that he doesn't have the skill, is everything he wants out of combat sports, right? Like, he loves the promotion part of it. He loves the professionalism where it's like, we can talk trash and it can look serious, but like, it ain't serious. Like, we're just trying to sell the fight. You know what I'm saying? I can train, a certain way. I know I can go in there, and even if they beat the brakes off of me, I could still come out fairly clean, no broken legs, or they're not gonna put me in a dangerous chokehold, nothing like that. They'll just knock me out. Like I think he just loves that part of it. Like it's more of an exact science, right? Like boxing's been around for a lot longer. The profession itself has been around for a lot longer. So it's more of an exact science of how to do things, and there's a lot more money involved. I think that's what's attracting him right now.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. And speaking of getting charged, Chael Sonnen. And the thing, he is
the master.
He is an ESPN analyst for on ESPN for MMA. He's being charged with 11 counts of battery.
Now, 11 counts are how many people he beat up simultaneously. Okay.
Well, okay, so according to the complaint, allegedly, Sonnen punched the first man, punched and kicked the second man, punched a third man in the face, punched and kneed a fourth man, and striking a fifth man with an elbow.
Yes.
Yeah. So apparently it's 5 guys. So it's apparently 5 guys.
Yeah. I'm not a Chael fan, but this is absolutely right. # free Chael. You go and try to jump this man, and he smokes all of you. He smokes all of you.
Not only am I not pressing charges, nobody's hearing that story.
I want to create one of our LBHT belts and give it to him. Okay, that's what I want to do right now. I want to present him with this belt. Like, here you go, sir. Like you are the man. And like we were saying offline, man. Like people don't understand. There's a difference between being done as a professional and being a regular person. Yeah. Like these are people that have to have their hands licensed as deadly weapons. All right. Just because they're not at their physical peak anymore, it doesn't mean they're not deadly still.
Yeah.
Stay away from these people. And I know Chael Sonnen does a lot of trash talking on TV. I'm pretty sure Chael Sonnen in person is pretty quiet, pretty reserved. He's not out there looking for the smoke, right?
Right.
You saw Chael Sonnen and you thought 5 against 1, let's go mess with him. And it's when keeping it real goes wrong. Right?
Come on. Look at
you deserve. Look, I don't care if he was trolling you. 5 against 1, you got beat like that. You get what you get, man. I'm gonna say Chael Sonnen not guilty. You guys take your ass whooping.
Yeah, and at this point, yeah, like he's getting charged. Well, I think it's a manhood thing because they got the brakes beat off of him.
Yeah.
And go back and watch Chael's old fights versus Anderson Silva. Silva, yeah. The man called this man out. Okay, Anderson Silva was a bad motherfucker. Chael almost had him. Beat him up for 5 rounds.
He needed 10 more seconds.
He needed 10 more seconds. The second fight wasn't as great, but he beat him up for 5. You think you can mess with that man?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, hell no.
You would be going from plotting this nonsense caper to getting beat down to going to the hospital to going to jail. That's what should be happening right now.
The charge is going to be something like, well, he's a trained professional. He shouldn't have hit me that hard. It'll be something like that. Like, oh yeah, okay. Once he subdued them, he didn't have to land that extra elbow to the head. That was excessive force. Like they'll do some BS like that, man.
They were dismissed in January, but they could refile charges. I mean, so it really seems like unless maybe the prosecutor's a little pissed off, things like that. Obviously, ESPN I think has already suspended him. He's not going to be able to.
He shouldn't be suspended. He got jumped. And he just finished him off. Matty Gunner, I absolutely agree. He looks like that type of guy. Matty says he's been around Chael during fight weeks. He's actually a really nice guy. He seems like that. Like the trash talking aside, it seems like it's just
he's selling a personality on TV. But he seems like a funny guy to hang around, and not somebody who's gonna pick a fight with 5 random dudes.
No, he doesn't come off like that at all.
He did when he was in the van, which Vanderlei Silva was talking shit to him. It was funny as hell. But I was like, come on, like that was. I mean, but Axe Murderer was already kind of washed up. Yeah. Even when they did the Ultimate Fighter with him and Vanderlei, and Vanderlei went after him, and he's like, Chael was telling him, he's like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. Get away. Back up. You know, like it's hilarious. And I'm looking at this. This is just Usman sees a path for third Covington UFC fight, but hopes Canelo comes first. Canelo versus Usman.
You know why? Because
now Usman will die. Yeah. It's not gonna be a third fight with the man. Like
Canelo's
Cannelo's
gonna kill him.
You don't go after Canelo. Like Conor was smart. He went after Floyd, who was already retired, who understood what it was. Canelo is in his prime and forging his legacy right now.
Yes,
he will hurt Usman for real.
Oh yeah. Like you can't.
One of those body shots. One of those.
Yeah, you can't. You can't do that fight. And I don't think Covington happens either. Not third time.
Oh my
God! John Jones hit under the cage from USADA for the.
Mine's I remember when he said that Chelsea big dog trying to feed a bus and carry. Bro, he went after all the Brazilians. He went after all of them. The Nogueira brothers, Silva, freaking Anderson. It was freaking terrible.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he does that, you know, in terms of performance. But like I said, like just in general, like he's not out there looking for trouble, man. I just that's a BS charge. And it's even worse that ESPN had to, you know, decides to suspend him. Suspend him for what?
Right.
Like, okay, the initial charge. You say, okay, we got to figure out what's going on. But once you know what's going on, because you're ESPN and you do your due diligence, once you figure out what's going on, okay, no, he can come back. It's fine. He didn't do anything wrong. You know?
If he comes back and he gets on and he just starts talking, that would be hilarious. How
long did they suspend him for? Did they say?
They just said they took him off the air.
I don't like that, man.
Oh, yes. When he talked about Tito's wife, oh, my God.
Yeah,
I almost lost it.
Yeah.
Right,
that it, but
should have read that one before I put it up on screen.
But that was accurate.
It was accurate. Gina Jameson made a lot of money.
He was factually correct.
You can't see, that's the thing. You can't be mad at him when he's factually correct. When he makes stuff up, come on, calm down.
Like, I know you meant that as a diss, but
what? That was actually
there was
true.
no lie there. There's no lie.
Yes, Jesus. So I mean, we're really in what like big fights are coming in boxing or even UFC that you guys are excited for? I know, Rodney, you were telling me some stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of boxing matches coming up. The next one I believe is Fury and Dillian White. That's coming towards the end of April. There was a good card this past weekend of prospects.
I don't want to get too much into that without Mikey here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
but let's.
We're trying to mention it real quick. It was kind of a highlight or a showcase for top ranks young prospects, right? Keyshawn Davis was supposed to fight, but he had to pull out with illness, so they rescheduled that one. But we had Edgar Berlanga against Steve Rolls. It was I was going to say experienced. He's old, is what I mean. He's like 37. But his only loss was to Triple G. So it was a big step up in competition for Berlanga, who's in his, like, I believe, 18th or 19th fight. Yeah. He's the guy who had that big streak of 16 straight first-round knockouts to start his career. So, you know, they had that fight. Before that, the co-main was Xander Zayas. I forget the name of the guy who he fought, a pretty slick fighter from down in Louisiana. So it was a good showcase for the younger guys. But like I said, yeah, we have some other fights coming up. Shakur Stevenson also coming up towards the end of April. Amanda Serrano is fighting Katie Taylor, Madison Square Garden. That's coming up. That's actually the same day as Shakur Stevenson's fight. But yeah, things are going to get busy. We're going to be streaming a lot more on the Ring Kings channel pretty soon. In terms of UFC, the next big pay-per-view is 273. They have it. That's the one where Khamzat is fighting Burns. You've got I'm blanking on it's Volkanovski and the Korean Zombie Chang Sung Young.
Okay.
There are a couple other really good fights on that card, but I'm kind of blanking on them right now. I'm sorry.
I know 274 is Rhodes versus Carla, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me pull up the 273 right now. 273. Carl put me on the spot. This is why you got to plan these things.
That one is with that's what Burns and
yeah, that's on the undercard essentially.
Yeah.
That the main event is Volkanovski and Young. But there were a couple other fights on that card. I'm trying to pull up here.
UFC 274. This one. Oh my.
Aljamain Sterling and Peter Yan.
Sterling, yeah.
That's the illegal kick, right? When he was down.
Yeah, the illegal knee. Mackenzie Dern and Tisha Torres also on that. Kelvin Gastelum also fighting on that card. So it's a pretty stacked card on 273.
Look at this card, Rodney. Look at this card.
Mm-hmm.
Dono Cerrone versus Joe Alonzo. I can't pronounce his name.
Lazone.
Hua is fighting again.
Shogun.
Shogun versus Saint Petrix, P-R-E-U-X.
Yeah, Oven St. Preux.
Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
Rose versus Carla. Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje.
Yeah.
That's a good, and
that's another pretty good card coming up.
That's a very good card. I will be watching that card.
Wow, she didn't say buying that card, but that's all right.
Maddie has a boxing question. He says, "Looks like Haney is getting the Kambosos Jr. fight. What do you guys think about that?"
First off, we hope that Lomachenko and Usyk and everybody over there are all safe and everything, and they'll be able to return to boxing pretty soon. Man, with Haney, I kind of think Kambosos takes it. I think I think that he's a really strong fighter. He's a really aggressive fighter. I think that Haney won't be able to hurt him, and I think Kambosos is going to overwhelm him.
I think Kambosos gets knocked out.
By who?
I think he gets knocked out. Haney
is somebody coming from the crowd with a steel chair, or is it?
I think some of the fighters that Haney's fighting before, I think, are more skilled than Kambosos. Kambosos is a smothering type of fighter, or not even smother. I would say more just active, right? And he caught Teofimo sleeping. That's the main thing, right?
Maddie says his guy Mike Mallet making his UFC debut on 273 as well.
All right, we'll check him out. But he caught Teofimo sleeping a little bit, and Teofimo still almost put him away. Right. Mm-hmm. I just think I think Haney's gonna come in more focused. I think he hits harder. Haney's more accurate, and I think overall he just has a better game than the Teofimo. So I think Haney taking the fight more seriously, more skilled fighter, he will be able to land a cleaner shots, and I think he does put him away. I think he does.
Okay, yeah,
I think it'll be later though. It won't be like an early. Yeah. Like I think
it would have to be kind of an accumulation of punishment.
That's what I think. Yeah.
I'm right now. I'm taking Kambosos in that fight.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be entertaining for sure. Peter dad is my favorite part of that fight.
I don't like his dad, man. I've told you, I don't like, because he doesn't tell him anything. I always pay attention to these corners to see what they're telling the fighter, especially when it's a challenging fight. And Teofimo's father is just telling him in a Kambosos fight, "Oh yeah, you won that round." What? He beat the brakes off of you that round. Tell him to step it up, right? Like, okay, the first couple of rounds after he got knocked down, you want him to calm down. You don't want him to panic. You're like, hey, you're good, right? You try and get him settled. But now you got, now you get into like 7th round, 8th round. You can't let Kambosos steal those rounds. You got to tell him, look, man, you need to pick it up, right? Like he's stealing rounds from you. You need to pick it up. Don't let him be the more active fighter, because that's what lost him the fight. Kambosos is just more active. If Teofimo was just a little bit more active, he could have won that decision still. But thanks to his dad telling him, "Oh yeah, you got that, man. Come on, get out of here, man."
You know who's my favorite corner, man? Teddy Atlas. I love.
Exactly.
I'm not about already.
I love Teddy Atlas. And Mind's Eye talking about Peter Yan's gonna smash Sterling. Like, I'm looking at the things. A lot of people are saying that. A A lot of people are
No,
saying
he's saying Sterling's going to get smashed by Peter Yan.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Peter Yan's going to smash Sterling.
Yeah.
I know it kind of looked that way in the last fight. I think that Aljamain came in too hyped. I don't think that'll be an issue this time. I think it's going to be a lot closer than most people think. A lot closer. But I did just pull up the upcoming boxing schedule. Like I said, there's a lot of fights coming up. Triple G is fighting Ryoto Murata April 9th.
That's his 2-0 fight.
The return of Ryan Garcia, also April 9th. Against Emmanuel Tago, who's a retired Ghanaian fighter who's, I believe, a cab driver now. Maybe not. But he is a
ride share specialist.
A ride share specialist. We got Errol Spence and Ugas April 16th. And Errol Spence has said that after that fight, he is looking to fight Terrence Crawford for that fourth belt. So if he's able to get by Ugas, you could have a boxing mega fight set up after that.
And Ugas is not a fighter that you want to sleep on at all.
He's not. Conor Benn has another fight coming up April 16th. We've got Tyson Fury and Dillian White. That's April 23rd. April 30th is when you have Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano and Shakur Stevenson against Oscar Valdez. And then the following week, Canelo against Dimitri Bivol. So a lot of fights coming up, in the near future.
Yeah. May Gunner says, "Wait, Ryan Garcia's fighting picks or it didn't happen." Look, there's still time for him to back out. I'll say that. But the fact that this guy's retired, they probably told this guy, maybe if you don't train as much, it's not a bad idea, right? Maybe there's a little bonus in that for you, if you get what I'm saying, right? Ryan Garcia, man, for a kid that's so talented, man, he does not have the boxer's mentality, man. He wasn't built for it. And that's fine.
Why would you need the boxer's mentality when you're already the king?
Listen, like if we make fun of Ryan Garcia, but if that's how it is for him, he just doesn't have the passion for it. I ain't mad at him. Like that sport ain't for everybody. It's a brutal sport, and he's like, look, I was skilled enough to get to this point, to get to a certain level of popularity. I don't really need boxing to make money anymore. I'm good. I don't blame him.
Because who likes getting punched in the face?
Right. That's something that you turn your mind off to. You get numb to it, but you don't enjoy it. No,
not at all. I mean, and like you said, if he can make money outside of boxing, I mean, why not? Like you just said, like I don't have to get punched in the face anymore, and I'm gonna make good money. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. Yeah. It's not like the UFC where you have to fight in the UFC to keep a living, because they'll make all the money and then hand you $2 and say thanks for fighting. Have a good day.
And I said it before, man, and I'm gonna stick by it. Like after this fight, like Ryan Garcia is going to it's going to be a content creator that he's gonna fight. Whether it's one of the Paul brothers or somebody else on YouTube. You saw there's some other like YouTube fights that happened a couple weeks ago. Some other YouTubers that I've never heard of, but like each one of them had like 1 million+ subscribers. Like they're huge. But yeah, like I've seen more and more content creators set up these fights. I wonder, did the Paul brothers start something? Like we gonna see more of these, more YouTube fights? I'm here for it.
One guy says Aljo's a crybaby champion. He faked being hurt to get win by DQ. No, he got kneed in the head by a world-class fighter. He was hurt. And he doesn't have to fake hurt to get a win by DQ. That's illegal.
That should have been an automatic disqualification. You can't do it though.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing, because it's a legal hit. And I think if you go back, they say the fight stops then and there. But I think I don't know. It was really weird. Like they were wanting to fight.
They were trying to get him to continue fighting, and he wouldn't do it.
But this is the thing I don't. But this is the problem with MMA still, right? Is that brutality of the sport where like they don't know when to just cut it off, right? He's hurt. It was an illegal hit. The rest should have just stepped in and said, "No, that's it. You're disqualified. You can't do that." It shouldn't be, "Hey man, can you go? You sure? Come on, can you go? Can you go?" Who was that guy on the Covington and Masvidal fight where the fight should have been over like 2 rounds prior? He's bleeding all over the mat. the doctor comes in and tells the ref twice, it's a good time to stop the fight. And the ref's just like, are you telling me he can see? Are you telling me he can see out the eye? All right, let's go.
I mean, but then you run into the argument with the Wilder Fury fight. And I know it's boxing, but there was the argument that Fury should have went out on his shield. And people say, no, he's getting beat up. You shouldn't do that to him.
No, that was a good stoppage. And his corner stopped that fight. His corner stopped it. That wasn't a ref.
But what I'm saying is in UFC, it's kind of the same thing. A lot of people will argue fighters want to go out on their shield. Some fighters are smart and be like, no, I'm hurt. Hell no, I don't want to go. I don't want to get a hit anymore. Because you're right, the brutality is different. Getting punched in the face, things like that, okay. It's still brutality, but you get kicked in the head after you're already messed up, it can really screw you up. So I get it. Shout
out to our nephew. What's up, Sadiq? What's up, guys? Yeah, I agree. Ryan is soft, but nothing wrong with that. His next fight will tell. Is
that a wrestling picture?
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah, he was a wrestler. Yes.
State champion. State champion. That's right.
State? For what state?
Maryland.
Ooh, yeah, we got a state champ in the house.
That's
right. I could have been a state champ if I had not wrestled 275.
And I'm gonna upload a clip of him in the ring too. He got some boxing skills too.
Nice.
He got that. He got that all from me. All that from me. Okay.
Maddie asking, is Tank Davis versus Romero official? It's not official yet. So what's happening with that is the WBA is trying to unify their title holders. They told him to pick a division, either 140 or 135. He picked 135, and they are telling him either he's going to fight Kambosos or they're going to strip him of his belt. So they're kind of going back and forth with that. But so it's not official yet. You know, there is talk about him fighting Romero, but we'll see.
Yeah. And he also says legalized knees. Are you talking about legalized knees on the ground? Bring that back. Like, look, I would trade legalizing knees on the ground for getting rid of the leg kicks.
Oh man, I love me a clean leg kick.
Man, you like those clean breaks too?
Oh, love it.
Love it. No, get rid of those. Those should be banned. Ban those, man.
Your nephew should know. When I wrestled in high school, I used to do one of my moves was low single. But when I first started using it, you're supposed the way when you get the leg, you're supposed to step in. Well, I stepped out and broke a guy's leg, snapped it clean.
Oh no!
Because I shot it and then I circled away and snapped his knee, just broke it. Let me tell you something. No.
It was like, that's the story. I'm awesome.
Let me tell you something. When you break somebody's leg, you feel like a god. Okay, like, I'm just saying. So when you kick someone in the leg,
I thought you were gonna say you feel like a horrible person. You're like,
hell no.
I wanted more.
Snap that knee. You're like one.
Yeah. I guarantee you.
In the head though, Maddie.
Looked at him and said,
"No, Maddie's right.
When you heal up,
no. But I'm saying
the other one.
They do. That's how Mighty Mouse lost his one title.
Yeah. But is it? Are they allowed to hit
knee in the head?
Knee in the head. Oh, fuck.
That's exactly how you lost. That's exactly how. Yeah, you're right, Maddie. You're right about that. Yeah. Hey, I'm willing to do to put up with that. If you get rid of leg kicks, man, like get rid of those, man. Those are gruesome.
You're gonna kill somebody with a knee to the head.
Yeah, that's true.
You are. If you there was I think it was last fight. Someone got knee or kicked in the face or and he was out, and it took him a minute to get him up. Like I think he got kneed in the face, just went out, and it took him a minute. They were like, he's still down, and I always get worried. They're like, oh shit.
See, you're infecting our nephew here. He said, not gonna lie, I felt like a beast when I broke this one dude's arm in wrestling.
Hey, when you crossface somebody and you put your knuckle across their nose and you hear that shit grind and just kind of like break, it's like let me tell you something. Take me back to 17-year-old Suge. And knowing what I know now, I would have trained differently. I would have been breaking everybody's legs just because I could. But now I'm old and fat.
So I got some breaking news.
Okay.
My niece Anita placed first today in the 200-meter dash.
That's my daughter.
Nice.
So
That's my daughter.
congratulations to Anita. I know you're never going to see this, and you better not, because Suge is not for the children. Congratulations.
Congratulations, baby girl. Congratulations. All right.
Eating ramen noodles. It's pretty funny. Pretty funny. I have been around a lot of MMA fighters, a lot of wrestlers growing up, and then I don't know if I've told you guys this story. Where I went to school in high school, Golden West College was in Huntington Beach. That's where Tito Cal State Bakersfield. So my coach used to coach with him.
Okay.
My coach used to coach him at Golden West. So we always had, like, if you go and look online right now, you could look up Cerritos College Wrestling, and Tito, he was there. That's my coach from high school. So I've always been around MMA fighters. Don't ever mess with these. Like how we were talking about Sutton. I had a friend. He was a guy. He trained Muay Thai, and we were messing around in the yard. And I was wrestling. We both wrestled, but we were like kind of like doing mixed martial arts. And he grabbed me by my head in a Muay Thai, and he put his knee in my stomach. And let me tell you, I damn near had a heart attack because he put his knee right in my solar plex. I couldn't breathe for like 3 minutes. Yeah. All you heard was it sounded like a donkey because I was like, let me tell you something. That it hurt so bad. So I don't like ever getting close with people because they just take a knee, put it in you. Oh, you're nope. I'm good. I'm straight.
I told you I don't like being pinned on the ground, man. Like if I were ever an MMA wrestler or MMA fighter, the minute I got taken down, I immediately tap. I would scream. I would scream. We had a deal, and then I would just tap. We had a deal.
That's why when I saw Jan Blachowicz when he fought Teixeira, and Teixeira got him on the ground and flattened him out, and he just immediately tapped. I was like, yeah, same. He's like, he got on the ground, he flattened him out, and Jan was like, I know where this is going. We don't need to do this.
What's up, Ferris?
Shout out to Ferris.
Through, man. Shout out to Ferris, man.
Man, whatever, Ferris. Ferris is not welcome around these parts right now.
Wow.
What did Ferris do?
I made Ferris an offer for Joe Mixon. A great offer, mind you. And he's like, no. I need him. That's my cornerstone. And I was like, all right, fine. A couple hours later, I see he traded Joe Mixon for a far inferior offer.
Wow. We're talking about our fancy football league right now.
People everyone just hates on you.
No,
let me tell you something.
He paid it for 6 draft picks. 3 of them are worthless.
Look at. I'm gonna just say this. I know this is Ring Kings podcast, but you guys are harassing people in their DMs.
You mean sure?
What? We're not harassing. No. You mean telling them to make their pick?
No. These people messaging for trades and everything.
Oh, yeah.
He means Hendo and Derek.
No, you too, B.
No, we're not me too.
I feel bad because like people have been sending me DMs, and like I told me like something about Discord, man. Like they don't come across the same way as like regular notifications, so I miss them a lot of times. But what's up, Q son, man? Thanks for coming through. Yes, salute. Caleb is in the house. It was not a better trade.
You traded him an 8th, 9th, and 10th round rookie pick. You know how many rookies are going to be available at those picks? 0.
Look at Maddie and me when we met in LA. Me and him, we were talking about we were going to wrestle each other. We were both drunk at the bar the first night we met. And time we were in the parking lot, we start getting a little like handsy. We're like grabbing each other, like, "Oh, you want to go?" And I was like, "Dude, we're on freaking concrete." You saw that video I put on Twitter where the guy went to throw a weirdest punch in the world, and he got double-legged, like tombstone pile driver. Like, oh my goodness! Like, this is why it is hard for me. This is why you don't mess with people that know how to wrestle, because it's not, hey, I can knock you out. If I change my level and I just pick you up, where you don't know how to fall. You don't know how to break.
This is why you don't mess with anybody. You don't know anybody. Yeah. I will never forget that video. That guy, those two guys approached him at the gas station, and they try to circle him, and he knocked one out immediately, and the other one tried to run away. Like I thought it was fake at first. Like it's real. Like he knocked the one dude out. The dude snoring, and then he turns to the other one. It's like, you're next, and he just runs.
He didn't run immediately. Not immediately. He had that half second of fight or flight, right? Like he was going to, and then he's like, no, I'm not.
He's like,
nah. But he ran the wrong direction.
He ran the wrong direction. There was it was like a dead end essentially where he ran into, and the dude started beating up on him, and the friends pulled him off. And I'm just like, at the start of the video, the guy clearly tells him, man, leave me alone. Go get your gas and just leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was with his friends. It was a guy that was filming it and another girl. They're at a gas station. These two dudes approach him about something.
Shout out to that dude who filmed it too, because he started early. He knew what was gonna happen.
He did, but like he definitely got that part on tape where the dude says, "Man, just go ahead about your business, man. Leave me alone."
Yeah.
Like he's not disrespecting you. He's giving you out. He's just like, just leave me alone, man. Like you go about your day or whatever. You go about your night. And they thought, man, we're gonna take this guy, man. He ain't gonna disrespect us. And then they spread out and get closer towards the gas station, and like one dude is like in front of him, the other, the smaller one's like behind him, like he's gonna do something, and that dude hit him with a 2-piece, and he immediately dropped. I was like, "Ooh!" His friend was just like, "Man, that was too quick. I can't do that."
Yeah. The Manny talked about the Joe Schilling video. Oh my God, what's his name? Who's the guy that beat George St. Pierre? It was like one of the biggest upsets. Matt Serra. Matt Serra. He was in Vegas, and some dude was getting crazy, and Matt Serra took him down and held him. And the guy was talking all this shit, and then he's like, "Why are you doing this? Why are you calling cops on me, bro?" Like, you shouldn't be fucking with people you don't know.
He said Joe kind of charged. I'm not sure if you were in here earlier, Sadiq, when we were talking about Chael Sonnen, who beat up 5 guys recently, and he kind of charged too, and ESPN suspended him. I think it's all BS, man. It's all BS.
He beat the brakes off of 5 people. Like,
yo, like they can file a charge. I'd be like, I just be like, no, denied. You go home. We're not letting you file this charge. Like it's no, go home.
No, they said they should have gotten out of the hospital and gone straight to jail.
Yeah. You try to jump one guy.
Not arrested.
Yeah, they were harassing his wife.
Yeah. Look, he beat 5 of you. I don't know what to tell you. He beat 5 of you. No crime was committed here. Yeah. Joe got off with it as he should have. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you're messing with someone's wife, man, you deserve to get messed up. And
I'm sure they were drunk.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah.
You don't mess with the goat.
Sadiq buys into it. Yes, he believes the goat.
I was telling him earlier. I don't know if you look it up on YouTube. Tito Ortiz versus Chael Sonnen, NCAA, or it was a dual meet. When Tito was at Cal State Bakersfield and Chael was at Oregon, and Tito goes for this weird move, and then Chael just pins him, and like Tito was all pissed. Tito was like one of the top wrestlers at that time. And then Chael just pins him, and it's hilarious to watch. I love going back and watching old NCAA tournaments to see now who are UFC fighters, and there or is even Bellator? Is Bellator a thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I don't even hear any fights for them.
In fact, I think they got some new TV deals. Something happened with them recently. They're still around. They're still strong. It's funny because you don't hear much about them, but they seem pretty solvent, financially solvent, man. Like they're not going anywhere.
Oh my God!
All right, so I'm gonna bring this up really quickly. I had no intention of bringing this up. I
was like, what you saying, me?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring this. I didn't really have any intention of bringing this up here, but Fair says, Suge, what you want for the rookie first round pick? Suge, I'm just gonna say this: whatever he offers you, come to me, I'll beat
it. Okay, they do it on Showtime, Ferris. I don't have Showtime anymore, so I haven't seen anything Bellator. Do you see the harassment I'm getting about these draft picks? It is unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It's Ring Kings time right now. In here talking about trading for rookie picks.
It is Ring Kings time, man. I guess real quick, the people, anybody that's not in here, that or anybody that's in here that's not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Anybody that watches this later on, go ahead and hit subscribe. And if you're watching on Twitch, I see somebody over there on Twitch. Thank you for watching over there. And anybody that watches the replay, go ahead and hit that follow. If you're watching on Twitch, you're watching on our Lunch Break Hot Take channel, right? We don't have a Ring Kings one set up yet, but go ahead and follow over there. You know, we talk all kinds of sports. More, we actually do more UFC talk on Lunch Break Hot Take. So if you're here for the UFC talk and you like it, subscribe to both channels. We'll talk some on here a little bit, and we'll talk more on there as well. All right.
But if you want to talk about the Ravens,
if you want
these bad takes,
Ravens, yes, horrible takes, horrible.
These horrible takes,
L takes.
Round 12, and then 8, 9, and 10 in the rookie draft. So I'll beat that shit. Don't even worry about that offer.
You guys are sickening with.
Don't
this
even worry
draft.
about it. Don't even worry about it.
Well, Ferris is my buddy though.
I'm not your buddy, Suge. Ferris have you on his show?
Me and Ferris did a show together.
That's right.
Yeah. And what happened?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Now you're on our show.
Wow. We went there, didn't we?
Sadiq wants to know what's our take on Canelo's next fight.
Canelo
no, we mentioned it, but we didn't really cover it.
Because we wanted to wait for Mikey to come on to talk about it. I'll say I have Canelo winning the fight. I think he wins by unanimous decision.
I watched a few of Bivol fights, man. He's good, but he's not polished enough for a Canelo fight. I don't think. I think if Bivol had a few more years to work on his fight, his skills a little bit, maybe. But there's too many holes in his game right now for me to take Bivol. Now, there's always that danger because he's more of a natural light heavyweight, and he's got that power. But nah, he's not on Canelo's level. I don't think.
Yeah, I haven't seen this. Who's going to be fighting? But with Canelo, I mean, come on, the guy, like we've talked about it before when we did the top 25. Yeah. Since he's fought Mayweather, he hasn't lost a fight.
I mean, Bivol's good. I don't think he knocks out Bivol, right? I think he's skilled enough to make it a fight, and strong enough to where Canelo ain't going to just try to go forward on him. But I don't think he's skilled enough to beat Canelo. No.
Yeah. So I guess we'll kind of maybe end it here.
Okay.
I will say last thing is, if you did not get a chance to see it, if you haven't seen him yet, do yourself a favor. Check out the Top Rank event on ESPN Plus that happened this past Saturday, and watch Xander Zayas. He's a future superstar.
Yeah. And shout out to Maddie Gunner. Maddie, if you got any links or anything to your album, he put out a new album.
Yeah.
He's
been tweeting about it. You can drop the links in the chat. Shadow Azrael is the name of the band. The album is coming, I believe. I want to say April 8th, is it?
Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong there. But yeah, definitely drop the link in the chat there. Sure. We do not start talking about Canelo. You know what? Don't drop the link, Maddie. All right.
Look, look, Canelo is a great fighter, but he's never gonna pass Floyd because Floyd beat him, one, and two. Like it's not Canelo's fault, but there were more great fighters in Mayweather's era than there are in Canelo's era.
Why are you posted like you don't know us or something?
If you go watch the top 25 we did, if you go back and watch the top 25, and I'm one of the biggest critics of Mayweather. Once Jose started kind of like breaking it down, you're right. He beat everybody. You can't.
You list the name of fighters.
Yeah, you start like you can look at certain fighters and be like, well, who did they really beat? Like Mike Tyson, perfect example. Well, who did they really beat?
Right.
You start naming the people Mayweather beat outside of freaking beating Durant, Hagler, Hearns, and Sugar Ray. He beat everybody else. I mean, he beat a lot. Like he beat great people, so you can't really. It's hard, and really, even if he came back to fight Canelo at a, would it really matter?
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't really matter. Tyson
no.
Okay, Ferris.
Here it is, right here. Shadow Azrael EP out April 8th on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify. Yes. So y'all make sure you check it out.
Yeah, and make sure to check out Maddie. You can drop the link. His MMA show that he does.
Yes.
You know, I go in there and I listen to it. It's awesome. Him and his buddy, I forget the name. The name's slipping me right now. They drop just great knowledge about MMA and things like that. And it's kind of like watching these guys do their show on tomorrow when they talk about the Ravens and everything. Trying to keep it professional.
We keep it laid back here.
Yeah, no, but definitely check out Maddie's show. He knows more about MMA than anyone I've ever heard. Like, it's outstanding.
I love talking, and I met him in person, and we talked about all kinds of stuff, wrestling.
Yeah.
I wasn't. No, it was just because at the time
he did say that. He did say we're not friends anymore. Those words did come out your mouth.
Yes. Hey. He said, "If you say who I think you're about to say,
we're done." Well, I mean, because I was like, God dang it, and then but you're right when you start hearing, like it's like laying the stats down. You're laying the stats down. You're like. Okay,
one fighter I regret having low. It wasn't our fault on the panel here. You know, some other people I'm not gonna name. But Pacquiao was way too low on that list.
Was he though?
He was like 20. He's in the 20s.
But I mean, he also
Pacquiao was beating some great fighters too, man. And like he's like up until now still beating champions. He was too low on that list, man. He was too low on the list.
Well,
but it wasn't our fault. It wasn't our fault.
For one, Roy Jones shouldn't have been on that list.
No, he shouldn't. Sean.
One man got him on the list.
Well deserved.
One person put him in the top. He put him in the top 10 or top 5.
He had him in the top 10 and just barely snuck him onto the list, onto the top 25.
We gotta do that again. That was fun. That was fun. Yeah. We got to do something like that.
No, I don't even think it was Mikey. I think it was just Deshaun.
It was Deshaun. It was just Deshaun that put
Deshaun had him high enough. They got him to 24.
Mikey was the reason why Pacquiao was rated so low because he forgot to put Pacquiao on his list.
Oh man,
we're gonna do some more stuff. Barney was kind of asking me what we should do, and I gave him some good ones. So I'm thinking of other ones that we could do and I will get Ferris on, how passionate he is about sports and get it, even Maddie, if Maddie wants to talk about it, like it would be some fun conversations to talk about some of the ideas I have of doing like a top 5, not top 10, because we did that 25, great idea till we actually had to do it. And it was a 3-hour stream.
It was 3 awesome hours.
No, it was great. I loved it. But people
watching, it's broken down to 5 parts. In fact, I'm gonna make a playlist, so you don't have to consume it all at once.
Listen, today Floyd over Loma right now, man. I'm not a huge Loma fan. Really.
I think Loma is a good fighter, but I think he's overrated though.
Yeah, he's not like an all-time great. I don't think you can't be 16 fights in and have a couple losses.
Two losses. Like I just no. I don't like it, man. And Teofimo's a good fighter, but he's not a great fighter either. And like he just beats you. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll make excuses that he hurt something. And fighters always do that when they lose, man. He just beats you. Like you're a good fighter, but you're not great. Yeah, Loma's underwhelming, man. Rakusan said Pac-Man fought all Floyd's leftovers. Not all. I mean, look, Pacquiao has some great, like being Eric Morales, being Barrera, the fights with Marquez. Like, I mean,
he beat Broner, right? Am I sure?
He beat Broner. Yeah, he beat Broner. He's one of the first to beat Cotto. I think he was the first person to beat Miguel Cotto. No, the second one. The second one.
Pacquiao is a great fighter.
Yes.
But I know what you mean, because it kind of seemed like that. But that was kind of when they were circling each other a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And everybody kind of wanted that fight, and they started fighting all the same people and everything. And it really stuck out with Ricky Hatton, because oh my God, what they did to Ricky Hatton.
Yeah,
poor Ricky Hatton. Leave that man alone.
Yeah,
but
his son can't fight now.
But Pacquiao just a year ago, he beat one time Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is an excellent fighter.
Yeah, he was undefeated champion at that point.
So Pacquiao, man, like yeah, for sure. And he's been robbed a couple times too, man. Like he's got a couple losses on his resume that should not be losses. They shouldn't even be close to losses. You know,
Jeff Horn.
I don't think he beat Timothy Bradley either, or Bradley. I don't think Bradley beat him. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think Bradley beat him. I think that was a robbery, but that was a little bit closer. Yeah, he's got some questionable losses.
I bet you were screaming that at the TV too, weren't you?
Hey, that's Matty Cutter's.
You never said
that's his
anything
guy.
more accurate than Ricky never hurt anyone.
No, he was look. He had a good career too. You know, he ran into you know some great ones. That's all. He's like, yeah, okay.
That's funny.
That's gonna be a conversation for another day. All right, yeah, we can wrap it up here, man.
Ricky was running Oxford, right? Like, but once he got out into the world, he ain't go well for him.
He beat Kasazu. That was a good win.
Sort of.
Yeah, he beat Kasazu.
Sort of.
Yeah, I think that's the one fighter that Floyd didn't fight, and I think that's just it didn't time up well.
That happens.
And you know, Kasazu was older too, so it's just I think time just kind of ran out.
Floyd fought Jab Zuda, right?
Zab Judah.
Yeah. Zab,
Yeah.
is it Jab or Zab?
Zab Judah.
Okay.
Yeah. He fought Zab Judah, beat Zab Judah. He beat everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
He beat everybody. Any fighter in around that weight class in that era, you think of it, he's beating them. That's crazy.
Look at
I remember
that was
there were people
Hawaii
who
robbery.
after the fight thought that he won or that he was winning.
Yeah.
You know?
That was highway robbery. They condescend to freaking spending so much money to watch. I went to a bar and it was packed, and they were charging like $10 a drink, food and everything. I must have spent like $300. Highway robbery.
Right? Look,
robbery.
they told you exactly what that fight was leading up to that fight, and then people kind of turned it into something else. They told you it was an exhibition.
No, that was the thing. But that when they did that tour, when they went to England, they went to Vegas, that was the smartest thing because that was so much because they went to Ireland too, and it was one of the smartest things ever.
Yeah, for never fight any Patman. Well, no, Patman beat Cotto before Floyd beat Cotto. Right? Yes. Yeah. Cotto fought Floyd after Patman. But yeah, I get your point though. I definitely get your point. I definitely get your point. And you know, Patman's team, like they did some shady stuff to set up some of these fights, like that Oscar fight. You know, having him fight at a certain catch weight. You know, basically having him dehydrate himself to a point where he's gonna be weaker going into the fight. Like just there's some questionable things, sure, but look, his resume still stacks up. Even after all that stuff, it still stacks up. So I'm just saying, I would have had him. I did have him higher on my list. If you guys ever heard of True Georgie, this man said if Logan Paul had one more round. I don't know who that is.
I'm so glad that I've never heard of True Georgie.
No. Listen, like people were pointing out how Mayweather could have knocked him out. He had to hold him back up when he hit him too hard, and that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. And I know because like when I used to train in boxing, I spar with skilled fighters. Like they know what they're doing.
Yeah. That's not a shot at Logan Paul. Like he's not a professional fighter. Like they were putting on a show, and Floyd. I mean, listen, it was Floyd's job to make sure that was entertaining, and it went on for however long it went on. And Floyd's a professional, so we did it. That's not on Logan Paul. That's not a shot at Logan Paul. He shouldn't have been in the ring, but he got the chance and he fulfilled a life dream of his.
But you know what though? But you know what though? The fact that people like True Geordie believe that means he did his job really well. He sold it. You know. Mm-hmm. And that's why people like doing business with Floyd even now, because he's a professional. Like he's not a boxer anymore, but like he can still make money doing this, and non-professional boxers feel comfortable getting in the ring with him because they know he's worrying about their safety. He takes their safety into consideration, and they know he's not going to seriously damage them. That's why he can make top dollar on these fights still. And people say, "Oh, well, it's a circus and all that stuff." Yeah, it's entertainment. And that's all they're trying to do. They're trying to entertain people and make some money, and people enjoy it.
Yeah. Only one Floyd didn't fight. It was my southpaw in the wheelchair now because of a motorcycle accident. I know
You
you're talking
talking
about
about,
Paul
Paul?
Williams.
Yeah.
Paul did not want any part of Floyd Mayweather. He wanted none of that.
No, he didn't. He didn't. They are hyping him up for that, but did he get knocked out a couple of times even before?
Yeah. I mean, again, he's a good fighter. You know, nothing wrong with Paul Williams, but he was running his mouth a lot because he wanted the payday, and everybody wanted the payday, and Floyd was the payday, and that's fine. But he didn't really want any piece of Floyd.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's what happened to Paul Williams, man. That was tragic. That was tragic.
Man,
Well, hit Oscar De La Hoya so hard he woke up a different person. All right, man. We supposed to get out of here like 15 minutes ago, man. Thank you, everybody. Seriously, for hanging out with us. You know, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers here soon. You know, we want to build this podcast. You know, we want it to be just like this, a laid back area where we can just casually talk boxing and some MMA mixed up in there as well. And you know, not take it too seriously, but just have fun with it. So I hope you're enjoying the content, and you know, just keep supporting us, and we're gonna keep growing. Also, right above us, you know, you see where you can follow us on social media, at Ring Kings Pod everywhere, man. Twitter, Instagram. We don't have Facebook yet, but we do have a TikTok, and TikTok is at Ring Kings Pod as well. All right. So, all right, Shug, thanks for hanging out with us.
Not a problem. If you want to see him talk serious, show up tomorrow.
And Shug, plug your stuff too. You got a channel too. Shug's got a channel.
I do have a channel. I'm kind of it's in the middle of doing some stuff, so we'll see what happens. But if you do want to help support me, Shug Knight 1323 at Twitch. That's where I do a lot of my gaming, a lot of streaming there. So if you want to come hang out, I'll try to play some more shooters, but my main thing is Magic the Gathering. I'm trying to make it to the Pro Tour. I'm making a push for it. I'm qualified for 2 big tournaments. One's this weekend. The next one is April. So if I make day 2, I can go to the what they call now the Mythic Championship. So that's my goal. So if you want to help support me over there. Shug Knight 1323. Obviously my channel Shug Knight 1323 on Twitter, on YouTube. You can find me there. I'm going to try to do some more videos, but I've just been really busy with life and school and stuff like that. But that's where you can find me. And then Shug Knight 323, TikTok, Twitter. Thank you very much, Jose, Brian. It's always a pleasure talking sports with you guys.
All right, we'll end there. Y'all have a good night. Yes, Maddie Gunner says much love to you, Maddie. All right, y'all take it easy. See you next time. Peace out.